Hey guys, welcome back. And this time we'll be covering another variation of average function, which is a much more advanced average function in terms of conditional average, which we saw in a previous video of average if. Today we get into more advanced version, that is average ifs. Here, what average if does is it helps you to give multiple criterias to calculate the average. So in an average, if we were able to give only one criteria towards finding an average from a particular data set, but this functionality uh, helps you to have multiple conditions or multiple criteria to calculate average. So if I have to specify in other words, is average ifs function retrieves the arithmetic mean of the array depending on the Boolean conditions which are available. Okay, and there could be multiple conditions, as I told you. You can have around a range of 1 to 20, 127 ranges in which to compute the corresponding criteria for criteria 1. And subsequently, you can have similar amount of ranges to be used for the criteria. So let me first show you the average ifs function. So here, the average range, which we saw in average if, comes first. So any range that has to be average is very important and that needs to comes first. And the formula, instead of if, we will add an S to so that we have average ifs, which shows multiple uh, conditions being used to calculate the average. Okay. Now we'll have range and criteria. So let me first uh, put it in a simple way so that we can have it in a smaller form. So I would consider R for a range and C for criteria. So you will have first range at least for calculating an average ifs. Yeah. So the first range and the criteria is very important. Suppose that you can have multiple criterias. Yeah. So we can have multiple criteria, but those are optional. Okay. So these are optional criteria which you can use. Let me just copy it. So since I am putting them in square brackets, 2 comma C2, that's the second criteria, could be R3 comma C3, yeah, and so on and so forth, yeah. But the maximum that you can have in terms of ranges is R127 and C127, okay. So the maximum range and criteria that you can have for average ifs is 127 ranges and 120 and subsequently 127 criteria for those ranges. Okay, so let's try this one example where I want to find the average of sales of the category book, yeah, and the quantity has to be greater than 50. Okay, so let's see that. So I want books, as I have already told you, and I want the quantity to be greater than 50. Okay, I can write it this way as well, greater than 50, and I can reference it to this particular cell. So let's see how I can do it. So I can say is equal to average if I have, what do I have to average? I have to average the sales. So I'll select the range. What do I need to do is check for category first. So I'll check for category. What category that I need to have is books. Sorry, I need to select the range first, comma, and then the criteria that is books. Next is quantity has to be greater than 50, which we have specified here. Okay. Then we'll close the brackets. We can have multiple conditions, but this is how it will look like. So 900, you can see we had books. So the first category is books. So let me highlight those so that we can check whether our answer is perfect. So I have highlighted it yellow. So these are all the books as per the first criteria. And we want quantity greater than 50. So let's see if this quantity is greater than 50. No. This quantity is greater than 50. No. This quantity is greater than 50. No. So this is the only quantity which is greater than 50, for which the sales is 900. Yes. So you cannot have one value wherein you can have the cell as uh, which you can average. So let me have multiple. So instead of 50, let me see what can be the average, 40, 20, 30. So let me have something which is greater than 25. So what I'm looking out for, a category of books who has average quantity being sold great, or the quantity being sold as greater than 25, then let's see the average. So this is now has changed. So this is 733.33. Let's see which of the cells. So the category is books again. Is it greater than 25? The quantity sold? Yes. So we mark it. Is this book has quantity greater than 25? No. Does this book has greater than 25? Yes, so I need to mark it. And the last one, this book has greater than 25. No, it has zero quantity. Yeah, so I need to average the sales of this particular three records. So if I average this, if you know the average formula that we have done earlier, so average, then I'll select the individual cells which has quantity greater than 25, and let's see if it gives me the same number. Yeah, 733.33. You can see this, it gives me the same output. Yeah. So average ifs is used to have multiple conditions being put to the average so that you can have complex calculations done for an average. Yeah. So I feel I was able to make the simple formula clear, but there are few things that you need to take care of. Yeah. So what you need to take care of is the average range. If the average range contains a blank cell or a letter, then the average function will retrieve as division zero error. So if I have a blank cell average range. So if the sales have a blank range, so if I see this, it calculates it. But if I put it into the formula, it will give me an division error. Yeah. So if I try to do it this way, I say I have a text here. Greater than 20. Okay, we can have a mix of numbers, but if I have text here, text here, text here, you see here, it gives me a division error. So if it has a blank cell or letters, it will give me a error. So if I have all this condition which has blank cell, it will give me a division error. So it has to have some number. So the range has to have at least one number. Yeah. So if you see, if I have one number, it will automatically give me at least the average of that number. It will ignore the other letters. But if I have all of them as letters or all of them has are blank, then it will give me a division error. That's the most important thing that you need to understand. I'll just replace all the values. Give me 1 minute. Okay. Now, uh, you can also have wildcard characters into the condition. So I can have, as we saw earlier in average if, instead of AM13, which is books, I am just saying I need of the all of the categories which has O as the letter in its word. So I'll just star O star. Star means it will take all the letters. So this is not O. Okay. All the letters before O and all the letters after O could be anything, but there has to be O in between. You can see electronics has an O in between. So all letters before O and after O could be anything. Home goods also has an O. Books has an O, but apparel doesn't have an O. So it will exclude apparel and do the average of all others which meets the condition that is greater than 25 and it will give me the average. Okay, so I can use wildcard character. Next thing that you need to see to it that the ranges that you have selected, the average range and the criteria ranges has to be of same size. So if I shorten the length of the average range, you will get a value error. So you need to be careful that the length of your average cells or the average range has to be the same as per the one on which you have put a criteria on. Yeah. So you need to see to it that the range's length has to be of similar size for all the ranges that has been selected in average ifs. Yeah. It could happen that one of your condition is false. So suppose in this formula, I select something which is not there. So I select clothes, which is not available in the category. Yeah. So even one of the condition is returning a false value, then it will give you an error. That is division error. Because the average condition or the criteria is not able to find clothes. Yeah. So let me put it here. So if I make it 12. So if I try to put something which is available, you'll get the answer. But if I try to put something which is not available and your criteria is running into a false condition, then it will give you a division error. Yeah. So you need to be careful while using the average if condition. First is the length of each range has to be similar. All condition has to return a true value. And lastly, the criteria that has been selected has to be available in the range that is being selected for the average if function. Yeah. So hope I was able to make the concept clear related to average ifs, which is one more version on the average function. Hope I was able to make the errors or the conditions or the important things that you need to take care of while using the average if function, because this is an advanced function. And I was able to make things clear on it. Hope you like this video. Do like it, share it across with your colleagues who want to learn Excel. Comment if you want me to cover any topics which are which could be done in this 365 days of Excel journey. And yes, do not forget to subscribe to my channel, because that's how you are going to get notification about all the videos that I upload on YouTube. And yes, that would keep me motivated towards creating such free content for you all people. Thank you so much.